Do you know why you're mediocre at almost everything you try? Not bad, not lazy, not clueless, just stuck. You start learning something new with excitement and motivation. Guitar, a new language, coding, business skills. You feel inspired, obsessed. You watch tutorials, read books, take courses, and tell yourself, this time I'll stick with it. And 6 months later, nothing has really changed. You're still a beginner, still struggling with the basics, still copying instead of creating, still nowhere near mastery. Meanwhile, someone else starts learning the same skill at the same time as you, and within 6 months, they're operating at a level that takes you 5 years to reach. You think they're more talented, smarter, gifted, but you're wrong. They're not special. They're using a learning system you've never been taught. That system is called Shuhari. It's a Japanese learning framework that's been producing masters for centuries. Martial artists use it. Craftsmen use it. Elite business leaders use it. It's the reason a Japanese apprentice can reach mastery in a decade while others take 3. It's the reason Japanese companies dominated global markets in the 1980s. Not because of genetics, not because of luck, but because their culture perfected how humans actually learn. This video exists because most people are wasting years learning the wrong way when a proven system has existed the entire time. Before we go deeper, subscribe, like the video, and comment one skill you've been trying to learn but can't seem to master. I read every comment, and this channel exists to help you break out of that cycle for good. Let me tell you about a man named Nathan. Nathan was 29 years old, smart, curious, motivated, and painfully average at everything he tried. Not because he didn't work hard, but because he worked hard on everything and mastered nothing. In 5 years, Nathan attempted guitar and quit after 6 months. He learned Spanish and plateaued at basic conversation. He took 3 programming courses and still couldn't build a real app. He read a dozen marketing books with no results. He bought expensive photography gear and still shot amateur photos. He trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 2 years and still got destroyed by people who'd trained for 6 months. The pattern was always the same: excitement, rapid beginner progress, then a wall. Progress slowed. Frustration grew. Doubt crept in. He asked himself the most dangerous question in learning: maybe I'm just not talented at this. Eventually he quit, or worse, plateaued. His apartment became a graveyard of abandoned ambition. A dusty guitar, unused apps, half-finished courses, books he understood intellectually but couldn't apply. Nathan's career followed the same pattern. He worked in product management at a tech company and stayed at the same level for 4 years while others advanced. His manager finally told him the truth. You're competent at the basics, but you never develop deep expertise. You dabble. The world doesn't reward dabblers. Nathan had no answer. He'd followed advice, put in the hours, done everything he was told. Nothing worked. He started believing mastery just wasn't for him. Then something changed. His company hired a new VP of engineering named Hiroshi, Japanese, early 50s, calm, precise. Within 3 months, broken systems were fixed, chaotic processes became smooth, and average engineers turned productive. Nathan was stunned. One person had transformed the entire team. He asked a colleague how Hiroshi did it. The answer was vague but interesting. Some Japanese learning philosophy. Shu something. He applies it to everything. That night, Nathan searched for it and found Shuhari, a 3-stage system for mastering any skill. The more he read, the more uncomfortable the truth became. He hadn't failed because he lacked discipline. He failed because he learned out of order. He skipped stages, mixed methods, and created chaos where structure was required. Nathan eventually approached Hiroshi directly. I heard you use Shuhari. Can you teach me? Hiroshi didn't answer immediately. He asked one question instead. Why do you want to learn it? Nathan was honest. I'm mediocre at everything. I try hard. I never master anything. Hiroshi nodded. Then listen carefully. This is not a shortcut. It's a discipline. He explained that Shuhari has 3 stages: Shu, Ha, and Ri. Most people fail because they mix them. Shu means protect or obey. This is where beginners belong. One teacher, one system, one method, no creativity, no shortcuts, no mixing sources. Because as a beginner, your instincts are wrong. Creativity at this stage creates bad habits. Shu removes decision-making. You don't think, you follow. Western minds hate this because it feels restrictive, but it's actually freedom. You're free from confusion. Most people quit in Shu because it's boring and ego hates obedience. Ha means break or detach. Only after fundamentals become automatic do you enter Ha. Now you compare methods, experiment, and adapt. Creativity returns, but it's informed creativity. This is where style emerges. Most people try to live in Ha permanently without ever earning the right to be there, which is why they plateau. Ri means transcend. No system, no method, only principle. You act intuitively because mastery is embedded in your nervous system. Innovation happens here. Very few reach Ri because they never respect Shu. Nathan felt sick listening to this. It explained everything. He tried to be creative before mastery. He mixed systems before foundations. He chased Ri while skipping Shu. He asked Hiroshi what to do. Hiroshi answered simply, choose one skill, and enter Shu properly. Nathan chose programming, not because it was fun, but because it mattered. This time he did something radical. He chose one structured program, one curriculum, and committed to 6 months of obedience. No YouTube hopping, no extra books, no shortcuts. Week 1 felt easy. Week 3 felt boring. Week 5 felt painful. But something strange happened. The basics stuck. Loops became automatic. Functions felt natural. Logic clicked. For the first time, Nathan wasn't learning about programming. He was becoming a programmer. By the end of 6 months, Nathan had done something he had never done before in his life. He finished what he started. Not halfway, not good enough, completely. He had followed one system without deviation, mastered the fundamentals so deeply that they felt boring, and for the first time, he wasn't guessing anymore. His fingers moved without hesitation. His mind understood problems before panic set in. When he sat down to code, he didn't feel lost. He felt grounded. That's when he went back to Hiroshi and said, I think I'm ready. Hiroshi looked through his work carefully, line by line, then nodded. Your foundation is solid. Now you're allowed to break it. Welcome to Ha. Ha felt completely different from Shu. In Shu, Nathan obeyed. In Ha, Nathan explored. But the difference between this exploration and his old chaos was massive. This time, experimentation didn't feel confusing. It felt controlled. He began building projects that actually mattered to him. A personal finance tracker, a productivity system, a small e-commerce tool. Some projects failed, some worked. But every failure taught him something specific because his fundamentals were strong enough to diagnose problems instead of guessing. When something broke, he knew why. When something worked, he understood how. Nathan started learning from multiple sources again, but now it was intentional. Advanced courses, specialized tutorials, books on software architecture. Instead of being overwhelmed, he compared ideas. One teacher emphasized speed, another emphasized readability, another emphasized scalability. Nathan didn't blindly follow any of them. He evaluated trade-offs. He chose what fit the situation, This was the key difference. In Shu, choice is poison. In Ha, choice becomes power. His style started emerging naturally, not forced, not copied, earned. He spent a full year in Ha, building, breaking, refining. By the end of it, Nathan was no longer learning to code. He was solving problems. His manager noticed. His peers noticed. He went from being the guy who avoided technical conversations to the one people asked for help. When his manager finally promoted him to senior developer, Nathan realized something important. This wasn't luck. This wasn't talent. This was the first time in his life he had followed the correct learning sequence. But Hiroshi made one thing clear. "You're good now," he said, "but you're not free yet." Nathan asked what he meant. Hiroshi explained that Ri doesn't arrive on command. Ri emerges when methods disappear. When you've experimented so deeply that you no longer think in techniques, only principles. When solutions appear intuitively because your nervous system recognizes patterns faster than conscious thought. Ri takes years, but now Nathan was finally on the path instead of running in circles. That's when Nathan realized something even bigger. Shuhari wasn't about programming. It was about learning itself. He decided to test it again in a completely different domain, public speaking, something he had always avoided because he was terrible at it. Old Nathan would have read 5 books, watched random videos, and tried to find his style. This time, he entered Shu properly. 1 course, 1 methodology, 3 months of strict obedience. He practiced posture, voice control, pauses, and structure exactly as taught. No improvisation, no personality hacks. Then he entered Ha. He spoke at meetups, small conferences. He experimented with pacing, humor, storytelling. He adapted techniques to his personality. Within a year, he was confident, clear, composed. Not world-class, but better than 90% of people. Same system, same stages, same result. Nathan became obsessed with why Shuhari worked so well. He discovered that modern neuroscience perfectly supports it. In Shu, the brain builds strong neural pathways through repetition and imitation. One system means clear signals, no confusion. Beginners who learn from multiple sources create weak, conflicting pathways, which is why progress feels slow and fragile. In Ha, the brain starts recognizing patterns across methods. This is where flexibility and creativity develop, but only because there's a baseline to compare against. In Ri, the brain chunks information so efficiently that conscious thought is no longer needed. This is intuition, not magic, trained pattern recognition. Western science eventually caught up. Research on deliberate practice showed that experts follow the same progression: structured foundation, guided experimentation, intuitive mastery. The Japanese simply figured it out centuries earlier through discipline and tradition. Shuhari wasn't philosophy. It was applied neuroscience before neuroscience existed. 3 years after discovering Shuhari, Nathan's life looked unrecognizable. Senior developer, confident public speaker, physically fit because he applied the same system to training. Conversational in Japanese because he respected Shu before Ha. Even his relationships improved because he studied relationship psychology from one structured source before experimenting. Every area of his life changed, not because he worked harder, but because he finally learned correctly. People started asking him for his secret. Most didn't like the answer. When he explained that Shu requires months of strict obedience to one system, they lost interest. They wanted hacks, shortcuts, variety, freedom. Nathan would smile and say, "That's Ha. You're trying to do Ha without Shu. That's why you're still stuck." A few people listened. Nathan mentored 3 colleagues. Each chose one skill. Each committed to Shu. Within 6 months, all three outperformed their past years of scattered learning. One became the company's data expert, another mastered project management and got promoted. The third became known for world-class presentations. One day, Hiroshi told Nathan something that stayed with him. "When you can create masters, you've reached Re." Nathan understood. Mastery isn't proven by titles, it's proven by transmission, by your ability to guide others through the same path without shortcuts. Now, this comes to you. If you want to use Shuhari, here is the exact framework. Choose one skill. 1, not 3, not 5. 1. Commit to it for the next 12 to 24 months. If that sounds restrictive, understand this. Dabbling feels free, but it keeps you mediocre forever. Shu lasts 3 to 6 months minimum. Find one teacher, one course, one system with clear structure. Follow it exactly. No mixing, no creativity, no improvisation. Stay until fundamentals feel boring because they're automatic. That's your signal. Ha lasts 6 to 18 months. Now you experiment. Build real projects. Learn from multiple sources. Compare intelligently. Develop style. Fail on purpose. Adapt. This is where real competence forms. Don't rush it. Mastery can't be sped up, only ruined. Re has no timeline. It emerges when you stop thinking about methods and start acting from principle. When others recognize your skill before you speak. When solutions come naturally because your nervous system has been trained correctly. So, comment below one sentence only. I'm entering Shu for skill using specific system. Then commit. Most people won't. They'll keep dabbling, keep switching, keep blaming motivation, talent, or luck. But if you actually want to dominate your field, Shuhari is the path. Not the easiest, not the flashiest, but the most reliable. 12 months from now, you'll either be well on your way to mastery or you'll still be exactly where you are today. Same excuses, same frustration, same mediocrity. The system works. The question is whether you're disciplined enough to obey it. See you in the next video. And remember, walk with honor, be present, and follow the path.